want to avoid is you are not eligible to apply at this point. Please try again another time. Hi beautiful people, my name is Ayola. If you're seeing this video for the very first time, thank you for dropping by, and if you're a returning subscriber, you already know you're an answer to prayers. I am a Nigerian content creator based in Dallas. I'm an international student, and on this channel I am a lifestyle content creator, and I document my grad school journey and also help other international students just settle in better and tips on how to ace the visa interview and all that good stuff. So if you are interested in any of all these plenty things I just mentioned, do well as to continue watching. And today's video stems from like recent conversations I've had with people, and it's also like interview season. A lot of people are preparing to come in for the fall semester, which is going to start in August, but a lot of interviews are going on right now. And it also stems from fears and just general discussions I've had with people. It's about the popular myths about studying in the US or any other country for that matter, but specifically in the US. It's myths that surround visa application and visa approval. People feel like if you do some things, you will get disapproved or denied, and if you do something, oh, that will make you approved. So today we're just going to be talking about those common myths and trying to debunk it as much as possible for the ones I feel like are very wild and unrealistic for you also. Definitely, this is something you should watch. First myth about grad school or international students in general is if you have full funding, you are going to get a visa approval. So full funding is when all your expense to come to the US is being paid, your tuition, your accommodation, whatever it is that is supposed to be an expense for you is being paid. So people feel like if they have a letter proving that they have like full coverage to come to the US, they will get approved of their visa. This is not exactly the truth, because people have full funding and when they get there, they don't get approved. So major reason what a consulate or an interviewer for the visa, the interview process want to determine is, first thing, if you have the financial capacity to sponsor yourself through grad school, which includes tuition, accommodation, every other thing, honestly, the full cost. They want to see if you can prove that you have that financial stability. Next thing, they want to be able to prove that you have home ties. Home ties intends that you would be returning back to Nigeria at the completion of your education. The third thing they want to consider is, are you really going to study what you say you're going to study? If you can honestly pass these 3 points, you are this close to getting approved of your visa. So the idea that if you have a full funding is good, it gives you a leverage. I always advocate for it, that try to get funding as little or as much as possible from these schools. But trust me, it is no guarantee that you would get approved if you cannot prove home ties, if you cannot prove that you are studying what you are studying and it's not just a team to japa. If it's just a team to japa, you might have problems there. So the next thing is stemming up from the last point, which is only people that get full funding get approved. I personally did not have full funding when I was coming in. I had very little funding. I had about 4,000, which is very small fish in the ocean of deficits that I had at the time. So trust me, it is no guarantee. And I've seen people that have like no funding at all get approved, and I've also seen people that have like a lot of funding get denied. So if you are able to prove that you can fund yourself, or your family or your siblings, whoever is funding you, have enough capacity to fund you, you can prove home ties and you can prove that you're studying what you're going to study, even with zero funding, you can get approved. It's good confidence booster when you have something, but if you don't have, it is also not a no. Okay, the third thing we're going to talk about is the idea that only great students, only students with first class, second class, upper, only those people get approved. Truth be told, the visa officer knows nothing about your academic standing. Absolutely nothing. There is nowhere in your visa application form that shows them what you had, what you graduated with in your undergraduate, or if you are going for an undergraduate, there is nowhere in your application form that shows them what your NECO and WAEC results gave you. So Everything you have that has to do with your academic standing is something that has to do with your school. It has no business with the visa, the approval. It has no business with the embassy. So if your school have found you worthy enough for you to get an admission, that is where it stops. They give you an I-20 for you to take to the embassy stating, I want you in my school. Now, the embassy determines if other factors, that's the three things I mentioned, your finances, your home ties, and the reason why you want to school is being fulfilled, you have no problem. So please, if you are a 2-2 or a third class or a pass student and you have an admission, the visa officer is not going to see that. So don't let that keep you shaking, honestly. The fourth thing that I'm going to talk about has to be the idea. It's a big misconception, honestly, that if you use an agent, you would get approved. I am a big advocate of do not use an agent. If you've been following this channel and you followed any of my discussions on grad school and F1 visa application, you would know that I do not subscribe to agents. However, I always say this, that if you are too busy and you want someone to take off the load off your shoulder and use an agent, please be very much involved in filling the form. The form is a DS-160 form. It's pretty straightforward. If you can get admission into grad school, you can fill a DS-160 form. Trust me, you can. So if you use an agent, in a situation where an agent has so many people in their hands, you are not a priority. So there can be mistakes, and when they make this mistake, you go to the visa interview, and it's just you, God, the visa officer, and yourself, honestly. So the agent has no control over these things. Where I used an agent, where I would advise you to use an agent, especially if you're coming from Nigeria, will be getting a date, because getting a date can be a hassle. So if there is someone that can take that hassle off your shoulder, yes, fine. But that is where it should end. It should not go further into them filling your form, or at least be present when they are filling your form. Be sure that they are filling the right information. It's a personal biodata, like your name. Imagine an agent making a mistake on your name, and the visa officer is saying, oh, your name is Blessing, and I'm like, oh no, my name is Mercy. It doesn't give you like any good leverage. It doesn't put you in a good light. So please, let's do that ourselves. The fifth thing I'll be talking about is the F2 visa. So there's a big misconception, and my friend recently asked me, if I decide to go for education, if I decide to want to study, what will happen to my family? There's this big misconception that F2 visa people don't get approved. And I've said it to also like my sister's friends and people like that are married, have a family, and I'm like, F2 people actually do get approved. And all you need to do is make sure you study, make sure you practice your questions, make sure you're doing the right things, make sure you can fill these three forms by being able to prove home type, being able to financially sponsor yourself, being able to determine that you are coming for education and you're not just migrating for the sake of migrating. F2 people do get approved, stamped. I am, yes, sometimes it's sometimes they'll tell them to come back later. They will deny one person, but even in a situation where they deny an F2 visa, if they reapply, they still get approved. The next point is stemming off from that. People who have gotten denied before do not get approved. I have seen people, in fact, I personally know people that have done F1 visa, like student visa, 2-3 times, and maybe on the fourth try or on the second try they get approved. So because you get denied one time does not mean that's the end. We are never going to give you a visa again, never come to our country again. No. For whatever reason that you got denied the first time, it is might just not be your day. You might have everything complete and it might just not be your day. So that will have bad days. Some days might not just be your day, even when you have all your documents complete. We pray that those kind of things don't happen, but they happen, and that should not be the end of your journey. That should not be, if you really want to study, that should not be the end of your journey. So please, if for any reason you get this denied, you can always try again. There is no rule that say once denied, forever denied. Denial is not, delay is not even denial. And whatever that quote may mean to you, you can always try again and you can get approved on your second attempt. Just go back, check your DS-160 form, make sure everything is intact, pray, have your confidence back, and leave the rest to God to handle. There is nothing impossible for God to handle. The seventh thing, or the eighth, because I always lose track of numbers, if you've not noticed on this channel, I don't know why. But the seventh or the eighth thing I'm going to be mentioning here is the fact that people think that if you go to the visa embassy and present a account statement that has a large sum of money, it will give you an approval. First things first, hardly do visa officers actually check those documents. They ask you questions. So it's more like an oral defense as against presentation defense. Like you want to give papers, you want to give proofs. They do not do that. In my case, I had like a good amount of money as my account, in my account, in my uncle's account that was sponsoring me. And the truth is that account was not even checked. I have it. It's okay to go with all your documents. Don't forget anything at home. Try as much as possible to be punctual and leave nothing out. But do not present any documents that you are not asked of. It rigs desperation. It rigs you are trying to convince me and overcompensate for something you are lacking in. That's what it breeds. So don't present any documents. If the visa officer does not ask you categorically, can I see your bank statement? Do not present it. And because you have a huge sum of money in your bank statement, people, these visa officers, they are from different walks of life. Some of them are criminal minds, detectives, some of them are psychologists, some of them are business analysts. So they can even sense like a fake from a close range. So if you are doing too much, if you are presenting things that they were not asked of, it would make them feel like there is something you are hiding. So maybe I won't give you the visa. So please do not do that. And if you also go with the intention of, because I have a lot of money in my bank account, well, I won't need to talk much. I will just go there and just like flex the whole thing. My money will speak for me. You will run into problems. Your money don't speak for you at a visa interview. In fact, it is more of God and it's more of you being prepared that speaks for you. So because you have a large sum of money, it doesn't mean anything. And if you also have like a lesser sum of money, just make sure that the money is above your cost of attendance, maybe just a little bit. It doesn't have to be like so grand, but try to make that happen and you'll be good. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that people believe that when they're going for a visa interview, they need to dress in like their this regalia, like too much like suit and all that. I am more of a comfortability over style and fashion. So you don't have to wear your Christmas clothes to go to the embassy for you to get approved. You can honestly dress as simple as possible. Just be decent, just be well put together, and let your dress sense influence your confidence, and you'll be good. Nobody, it is not a fashion show. It is not GT Fashion Week or Paris or whatever fashion week. So you don't need to come there and overdo anything. You're not, it's not necessary, honestly, and it doesn't determine if you would get approved or disapproved. People wear shirts and pants and they get approved. Next thing I want to talk about that hits close to home because I've experienced it is the fact that people that get denied feel less of themselves. Anybody can get denied. Anybody. Like I've heard of entertainers that are well known in Nigeria going for a visa interview and they are getting denied. Anybody. So who do you think you are? You are just another person in the number. It is their country, their rules. So anybody can get denied. Don't feel like because you get denied is the end of the world. You are a loser. It's just is. And that can hurt you if you already go with the mindset that I'm going to get denied because I'm a nobody. You most likely would because your mind has a beautiful way of making things happen the way you envision them. Next thing is be prepared to the TM. To be prepared, like let somebody wake you up. Don't take it for granted. Don't say these are simple questions. These questions are not going to get asked. These questions are not. Be prepared for every and anything. Be prepared. And honestly speaking, you can't be over prepared for a visa interview. You can't be under prepared. So please find someone to do a mock interview for you. Try to go over the questions. Come on YouTube, find videos that I've shared commonly asked questions. Maybe I will do that. If you want me to do that, let me know in the comment section of commonly asked visa interview questions for F1 students, and we might be able to go over that together. And another thing, I'm also open to like creating a Telegram. I don't know, maybe by the time this video is up, the Telegram link will be up for me to meet more with you people and interact with you on a one-on-one basis. I currently do it on WhatsApp, but it's a lot. I want to put like everybody in a group so you can all learn from each other, while I also share tips on how to ace your visa interview and how the grad school life generally, or you're in an application process, just to find a community for you to communicate with. I'm willing to do that. So if it's up by then, I'll put it on the screen that you should find the link of the Telegram group in the description box. And if not, it's something we'll work on maybe in my next video. The last thing I would like to talk about visa interview and everything visa interview is that this interview is a very long interview, strenuous process. Honestly, the only thing long about this visa interview is the checkpoints, to check if you have an appointment on that day, to check maybe your passport is up to 6 months validity, and just that little checks before you finally get in front of a visa interview. This interview lasts 2 minutes or 5 minutes at most, and maybe even seconds at worst, and you just get the approval or the denial. So it is not a long interview in itself. It's the process to get to the interview that is long. So scrap that idea that it's a job interview when you have people take turns to ask you questions. No. So that's why you need to be prepared. That's why you need to cross all your T's and dot your I's and do everything you need to do. And don't forget the God factor. Go with your God, pray to your God, and be confident in everything you want to say. It is more of an oral defense than it is a paper or document defense. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and you're still watching till now, you're a real OG. I hope you stay. Please do subscribe. There'll be more of this kind of content on this channel, and there is more already. You could go back and check. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This video might help somebody, and sharing, liking, dropping a comment also gives YouTube the opportunity to show this video to more people that might need this. So if you want to help somebody, like, share, drop a comment, and subscribe. If you also want to help me, you should do that too. Thank you so much, and I love you all, and I'll see you in my next video.